Am I wrong for not allowing my ex to attend our child's birthday party? I, 34 female, and my ex-husband, 36 male, divorced 2 years ago due to irreconcilable differences. We share custody of our 7-year-old daughter, Lily, and have managed to maintain a relatively civil co-parenting relationship. However, things recently took a turn for the worse. Last week, Lily turned 8, and I decided to throw her a birthday party at our home. I planned the event meticulously, inviting Lily's friends, our family members, and a few close neighbors. I wanted it to be a special day for her. However, when I sent out the invitations to my ex-husband, I specifically mentioned that he would not be able to bring his girlfriend. Now, my reasoning behind this decision is that my ex-husband has been dating someone new for the past 6 months, and Lily hasn't had much interaction with her. I didn't think it was appropriate to have a stranger present at her birthday party, especially since my ex-husband and I agreed to introduce new partners to Lily gradually. My ex-husband, upon receiving the invitation, immediately called me, furious and demanding an explanation. He accused me of trying to exclude him from Lily's life and claimed that he had every right to be there for her special day. He argued that his girlfriend had already met Lily on a few occasions and saw no issue with her attending the party. Naturally, this turned into a heated argument with both of us standing our ground. I firmly stated that I didn't think it was fair to Lily to have a stranger present regardless of a few brief meetings. My ex-husband insisted that he had just as much right to be there as I did and accused me of being spiteful and controlling. The argument escalated and we ended up involving our respective families who took sides and added fuel to the fire. Some of my family members supported my decision, claiming that Lily's birthday should be about her and her closest loved ones. However, my ex-husband's family argued that he should be allowed to attend and that his girlfriend was an important part of his life. Therefore, she should be included. We couldn't reach a compromise, and in the end, my ex-husband threatened legal action if I didn't allow him to attend the party. This left me feeling torn between wanting to make Lily happy and not wanting to escalate the situation further. So, am I the asshole for excluding my ex-husband from our daughter's birthday party? Small edit. To answer a few questions, Lily has no opinion. Her only concern is having all of her friends there and making sure the flavor of her cake is up to her standards. As her father and I have 50-50 custody and the birthday party is during my time, I feel like I have a large say in this. Additionally, she has met the girlfriend twice. They haven't exchanged more than a few hellos and she would not be comfortable alone with her. Therefore, I do not feel that it's appropriate to invite her. My ex-husband is free to come, his girlfriend is not. Am I wrong for stealing my sister's baby? My 29 female, little sister, 21 female Jane, has a 14-month-old baby girl, Sarah, whom I have had custody of since late June of 2020. Jane was divorcing her husband, jobless and homeless. I offered to take temporary guardianship of Sarah so she would be safe and cared for while Jane got her life together. At first, she turned me down. However, after Sarah was dropped off to our mom's house in dirty clothes and an old diaper by a stranger while she was supposed to be under the care of her father, Jane agreed to give her to me and my wife. Now, we made it clear that it would be temporary and that Jane would still have full access and could get Sarah back whenever she felt ready. However, during the last 6 months, Jane has completely disappeared from Sarah's life. She doesn't ask about her, doesn't make any effort to visit her. She doesn't ask us to bring her to visit. She has gotten a job and a place to stay, unsafe in my opinion, yet haven't offered to take any financial responsibility, not even in the form of buying her gifts. She doesn't call to talk to her or see her. I spoke to Jane recently about all of this, and her defense is that it's too emotionally hurtful to see Sarah because of how much it hurts and how much she misses her. Her other excuse is that she doesn't have a car or enough money to buy Ubers or diapers. I told her about how ridiculous all that is. You don't need a car or money to call or text. We have always made clear we'd be willing to bring Sarah to her, and she spends a wasteful amount of money on food and vapes. Even after speaking to her about the things she should or could be doing, she still has made no changes. Because of this, my wife and I have decided to look into our legal options for adoption. Sarah has legally been abandoned, and we only need to keep her a little longer before the court would allow termination of Jane and her husband's rights. Her husband is even more MIA than Jane is. Jane is livid about this and is threatening all kinds of things, but has done nothing. Important information. After I offered originally and before we actually got physical custody of Sarah, my wife and I attempted IVF and failed. We hadn't told anyone about this, even family. However, I told Jane about this on day 1 just so that there would be full honesty and so that none of this would seem sneaky if it were to come out later. Jane is bringing this up in a very hurtful way during all this, saying that I'm trying to steal her baby since we can't have one on our own. We have one adopted son already. This is very far from the truth. We are genuinely worried about the safety and well-being of Sarah if she were to go back to Jane. And the fact that Jane has essentially ghosted her baby, we feel we have every right to pursue permanent guardianship and adoption. So, am I the asshole?
Storytime about why you should never get romantically involved with someone that you work with. So a little background information, I was working at one of the largest discount retail stores in the US, and about a couple months into me working there, my manager and I took a liking to each other. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm underage and he's a full-grown adult. But that's besides the point. Him and I, we started sneaking around a lot together, and about a month after him and I were screwing around with each other, he wanted to end things. Which I was like, alright, sure, whatever. But clearly he didn't mean it because we were still doing the same stuff that we were doing before he, quote, ended things with me. Anyways, so a random day at work, I don't know what the hell crawled up his ass, but he just snapped at me the one day. He starts threatening to write me up, and he started talking down to me any chance that he got. Like, how are you gonna talk down to me when you literally were just hanging out with me last week? Like, you're a full-grown man. Act like it, please. Like for part 2. Part 2 about why you should never get romantically involved with someone that you work with. So like I said, he just started acting really weird towards me. Like, he just woke up one day and decided that he hated me. He starts threatening to write me up, and then he starts talking down to me any chance that he got. And I'm not going to take that from a grown man who's been hanging out with a teenager. So I end up having to meet with the head of HR. And they told me they had to let me go because I'm, quote, hostile, disrespectful, and this, that, and the next. Obviously, I knew that he went to HR because they didn't just pull this shit out of their ass. So I texted him the same day and I told him that I was going to call corporate and let them know everything that had been going on between him and I. I don't think that he believed me, but I sent in a report about the whole situation. And of course, whenever the head of HR confronted him about it, he denied everything. So I called corporate again and I sent them all the proof that this actually happened. And currently, I'm still waiting for him to get fired because there is no way in hell that you're going to get me fired and have no consequences whatsoever.
Am I wrong for refusing to pay for my daughter's wedding because she won't let me walk her down the aisle? I'm a 48-year-old man and my 19-year-old daughter has always been an independent thinker. I raised her to be independent and to think for herself, which I've always appreciated. However, we recently hit a bit of a snag. So she got engaged and decided that she doesn't want me to walk her down the aisle. She has stated that her mother and I don't own her, therefore we have no right to give her away. I feel hurt by this because we never treated her like an object or a piece of property. Rather, we've tried our best to provide her with a wonderful life. I find her stance to be extreme, and despite our discussion, she's refusing to budge on the issue. I do respect her choices, but I feel like she's disregarding our feelings completely. So as a response, I told her if she feels that way, I won't be paying for her wedding. I don't want to come across as controlling or manipulative, but by her logic, if I don't own her, I don't owe her. At least not a fully funded wedding. Am I wrong for refusing to pay for my daughter's wedding because she won't let me walk her down the aisle? My daughter feels like her mother and I don't own her, therefore we don't have the right to give her away. I respect her choices, but I feel she's disregarding our feelings completely, so as a response, I told her I won't be paying for her wedding. I'm not trying to be controlling or manipulative, but by her logic, if I don't own her, I don't owe her a fully funded wedding. She can pay for her own wedding if she's insistent on this stance. The edit says this isn't about making the wedding about me. It's about her attitude. She's had every opportunity in life so far, and to exclude us from this day is a spit in the face. It just feels like a rejection of everything we've done for her, sacrificed for her, given her, and it feels selfish. 90% of wedding traditions and symbolism had roots in things we don't acknowledge today. Should we stop all of them? The rings, the flowers, the dress, the wedding party, the cake, the flower girls? A father walking his daughter down the aisle is about respect, pride, and love. Am I wrong for having house rules for my stepdaughter? So my husband, 42 male, and I, 33 female, have his daughter, 11 female, for a week. I'm fine with it and have zero problem with her being here. Her mother works full-time and so does her brother, and she's too young to stay alone all day. The issue came about today when I laid down basic house rules for her while she's here. I don't think they're unreasonable, but my husband and my stepdaughter thinks they are. Here they are. 1. No electronics after 11 p.m. That means no laptop, no tablet, switch, anything like that. She can have a movie on for bed, but I set the timer and take the remote or she'll stay up all night. Number 2, awaken out of bed by 11 a.m. or she'll sleep all day. Number 3, 3 hours maximum on her tablet each day. Number 4 is she can't stay in her room all day. Number 5 is she has to help clean up after dinner, meaning putting away the dishes. And 6, practice basic hygiene. Am I wrong for having house rules for my stepdaughter? Number 6 is to practice basic hygiene because she's in the part of puberty where she doesn't want to shower or brush her teeth. That's it. That's literally it. But apparently I'm being too harsh because it's summertime. I've also spoke with her mom and she completely agrees with me about the rules. And she said she has the same exact ones at her house, so I'm not sure why I'm being met with so much pushback from my husband and the child. And just for some extra clarity, when I spoke with her mother, my husband was in the room and I had her mother on speaker, so he heard the whole conversation. He initially agreed to help enforce the rules, but changed his stance at the stepdaughter's first tantrum. Also, we've been married for 5.5 years, and these were not set out as spite, they were set for consistency. And again, her mom has the exact same rules set at her house, so I'm just confused. Top comment says, I am confused, these are extremely basic house rules. And they should have came from your husband.